If this person has started to distance themselves and ignore you, don't leave this video. I want to share Stoic strategies that will help you deal with this situation. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, I invite you to do so now. This way, you'll stay updated with all the new videos I post, ensuring you won't miss any valuable content. Together, let's reclaim your personal power and master this situation. Now, let's dive into today's topic. I know this situation has happened to many people, including myself. I remember the first time I went through it. It was a moment of great suffering. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that pain is an inevitable part of life, and we must face it with courage and resilience. That's why I encourage you to stay until the end, as the advice I'm going to share will help you handle this situation in a balanced way and turn things in your favor. I hope you are well and cultivating positive thoughts. It's essential to focus on what we truly desire in life and let go of what we don't. The Stoics emphasize the importance of concentrating our energy on what we can control and accepting with serenity what we cannot change. It's crucial that you love yourself more each day because this is the key to not feeling the need for other people. When you don't need, that's when you start to attract and become more magnetic. When I talk about someone distancing themselves or ignoring you, I'm not referring to a relationship that has completely ended. If someone has decided to leave your life, let them go. Open the doors and allow them to leave without begging or pleading. What I want to address is when you are in a relationship that still has potential, but you notice that the other person is changing, that they are no longer with you in the same way as at the beginning. It's possible that this person is distancing themselves or even ignoring you. At this point, I invite you to reflect if this distance has something to do with a change in your attitude. I say this from personal experience and because it's proven. When you stop being yourself, the dynamics change. Remember how you were before you met this person. You had your hobbies, dreams, and cared for yourself. Did something change in you when you fell in love? Did you modify your behavior? These questions are important to understand if you are deviating from your essence. Often, in an attempt to please, we end up losing ourselves, and this affects the relationship. Therefore, it is crucial to reconnect with who you truly are and reestablish your priorities. The Stoic advice I'm going to share will help you regain this authenticity and handle the situation wisely and balanced. Stay with me until the end to discover these powerful strategies. Before we begin, don't forget to like our content, and if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. Alright, let's go. When we fall in love, it's natural to want to give our all and always be present for the other person, believing this will make them love us more and stay with us forever. However, reality often shows the opposite. By giving too much, the other person can start losing interest and even begin to ignore us. The person who was once so attentive starts to distance themselves. So, how do we reverse this situation and reignite their interest? Here are 3 steps that can help. First, it's crucial not to show neediness. If the person no longer gives you the same attention, doesn't respond like before, or even ignores you, avoid complaining. Don't send messages saying, "You don't love me, why don't you respond?" Or, "What's happening?" Showing desperation will only push the person further away. The secret is to act as if it doesn't affect you. I know it's difficult, but you need to show that you are happy regardless of this person. Your happiness should come from within, from your own dreams and goals. Continue living your life fully, with or without them. Allowing your happiness to depend entirely on someone gives that person enormous power over you, which can result in manipulation. When someone distances themselves, it's often because you have distanced yourself from yourself. You lost that magnetism by neglecting your own interests and focusing entirely on your partner. What happened to your hobbies? If you liked playing sports, keep doing it. If you love going out with friends or spending time with family, don't stop. Your life should not revolve around one person. The secret is not to appear needy. Be happy with yourself and show it. When the other person sees that you are not complaining or creating drama, they start to wonder what is going on. They will think, "It seems she doesn't care that I'm distancing myself," and continues to be happy. Even if inside you are bothered, demonstrate that this person doesn't have control over you. The control is with you. When they see that you continue to move forward, taking care of yourself, becoming more attractive, and living your own life, their interest returns. The situation changes, and it's them who start looking for you. The dramas of "why didn't you respond? You ignored me? I sent you several messages and you didn't read them" disappear. You have your own life and things to do. Additionally, when they send you a message, don't rush to respond. If you do, you will show desperation and neediness, as if you were waiting by the phone to reply quickly. Don't show that you depend on that message to be happy. By not showing neediness, the relationship balances out. If the other person feels you are always available and attentive, they lose interest because the attraction disappears. Don't give that power. Show that you have your own life and are happy with or without this person. A crucial point to avoid appearing needy when you like someone is not being constantly attentive to every move they make. It's natural to want to spend a lot of time together at the beginning, but how do you avoid this becoming suffocating? The answer lies in maintaining your own activities and focusing on your life. Keep doing what you used to do before this relationship. Don't wait anxiously for the phone to ring or share every detail of your day-to-day. Your partner is not your personal diary. Constantly telling them where you are or what you are doing takes away the mystery and curiosity of the relationship. If the person doesn't write to you, don't despair or turn into a social media detective. This obsession shows dependency and can make the other person realize you are not happy without them, diminishing your charm. Your world cannot revolve around your partner. Don't abandon your hobbies or friends to fit into their universe. This is a big mistake. When you nullify yourself to please, you lose your personal magnetism. Before blaming your partner's change in attitude, ask yourself if you have changed. Are you still the same person as at the beginning? When you stop being so attentive to the other and return to focusing on yourself, you regain your natural shine. It's essential to have a goal in life. What do you want to achieve? Focusing on your own dreams and goals makes you more attractive. The other person will notice you have your own world and interests. It's important that you can enjoy activities alone, like a walk in the countryside, a movie, or a meal. Yes, it's great to be happy with your partner, but it's also necessary to be happy without them. Many people confuse love with dependency, thinking they need to be with the loved one to be happy. This is not love, it's attachment. A healthy relationship requires both parties to be able to be happy individually. If your partner realizes you can't be well without them, this can create pressure and suffocation, leading to distance and possibly the end of the relationship. I speak from experience because I have been in this situation. I was once dependent and, out of fear of being alone, I ended up suffocating my partners. This fear materialized precisely because I nullified myself. Therefore, a valuable piece of advice: dose your love. This practice has helped many people. Instead of giving everything at once, distribute your affection in a balanced way. This prevents suffocating your partner and keeps the interest in the relationship. Learning to love yourself and not to depend emotionally on another person is fundamental for happiness. If you constantly sacrifice yourself to satisfy the other, you lose your shine. The first person you should take care of is yourself. Loving well does not mean loving excessively, but with quality. A healthy relationship is balanced, without constant neediness or complaints. Dosing love is taking care of yourself while loving the other. Do not nullify yourself thinking that giving everything will guarantee your partner's love. True love and respect start with you. Many of us have been in situations where we gave everything and were ignored or betrayed. That's why it's essential to maintain balance. Love your partner, but ensure you are also taking care of yourself. Do not become a shadow of yourself, believing this will guarantee the other's love. True respect and love start within you. This person fell in love with someone who had their own life, full of hobbies and interests. As you give more to the relationship, you may start to neglect what made you happy, losing your own shine. If you haven't learned to love yourself and neglect your needs, thinking that love means giving everything, this indicates a problem of emotional dependency. When someone enters your life, you forget about yourself and focus entirely on that person, believing you can only love while being with someone, unable to be alone. If you identify with this situation, the first thing to do is distance yourself from the relationship and focus on yourself. Take care of yourself, learn to love yourself. Otherwise, you will continue to repeat the same pattern with different people, but always with the same dynamic. You might wonder why, being so generous and giving your all, the other person distances themselves. The answer is that in love, being a good person is not enough. It's crucial to understand and respect certain rules. You cannot be so focused on the other that you forget about yourself. You cannot give everything without reservation, and you cannot depend on the other person to be happy, as these behaviors destroy your magnetism. In the end, the other person distances themselves, and you are left with shattered self-esteem. Finding a balance is essential. Your happiness and well-being are equally important. Maintain your interests and hobbies. Do not sacrifice your identity for anyone. Loving well also includes loving yourself. Often, this emotional dependency stems from internal voids and emotional traumas carried from childhood. We believe we can only feel love beside someone, and that to not lose this person, we must sacrifice ourselves completely. But this is not healthy love. It is not about quantity but quality. I went through this a few years ago. I suffered a lot in my relationships but managed to heal, save myself, and find peace and love without needing someone by my side. This is what I want you to achieve. When you reclaim your power, no one can control or manipulate you. Your happiness no longer depends on whether someone writes to you or not. The person who truly cares about you will seek you out, and if they don't care, they won't write to you. And you won't beg or complain. You will simply open the doors and let that person go. Because when someone cares about you, it is evident, and when they don't, it is even more evident. The key is to heal your own voids and learn to love yourself first. Only then will you have healthy and balanced relationships where love is genuine and not based on emotional dependency. A year ago, my emotional dependency was so intense that I gave my phone to a friend for a weekend. I asked her to keep it because I couldn't stand waiting for a call or message. It was harming me. That's why people who are still emotionally dependent tend to live glued to their phones, constantly waiting for validation from others. Giving my phone to my friend didn't solve anything. This strategy failed because emotional wounds need to be worked on internally. It's not just about disconnecting from the phone for a few days and avoiding contact with your partner. The wounds that cause emotional dependency are deep and need to be addressed at the root. Understanding where this dependency comes from is important. In my case, these wounds stem from childhood. Perhaps, like me, you lack the presence of a father or mother, or maybe you were overprotected. These experiences make you constantly seek attention from others because you feel something is missing and believe you cannot be alone. Healing these wounds requires deep personal work. You need to identify the origin of your emotional dependency and learn to fill these voids yourself. True freedom and happiness come from learning to love yourself and being well with yourself, without needing validation from others. So, if you truly want to attract and maintain healthy and meaningful relationships, it's essential that you start from within. You need to heal your emotional wounds and learn to love yourself, even in solitude. Take time for yourself so that when you meet someone new, you don't repeat the same behavioral patterns. Without this inner healing, you will inevitably fall into the same traps, perpetuating cycles of pain until you are forced to seek a solution. I receive many messages from you, expressing gratitude for my videos, but I often notice that many of you keep making the same mistakes. Why? Because deep wounds cannot be healed by just watching a video. Healing demands daily and constant work, just like I did. Watching a video is easy and comfortable, but true transformation requires you to dedicate time daily to working on yourself. This includes reading personal growth books, identifying, and healing your wounds. Real changes happen when you act differently, even if it's uncomfortable. Leaving your comfort zone and facing your weaknesses is essential for growth and transformation. If you are going through a painful situation and want to change, it is necessary to increase your self-love and confidence. With this security, you will understand your worth and avoid making the same mistakes in future relationships. You will not neglect yourself or become overly focused on the other person because you will know that the first love must be self-love. From this fullness, you can share your love without becoming dependent or constantly sacrificing yourself for the other. It is crucial to maintain your own world, goals, and hobbies without letting everything revolve around the person you love. This balance is what keeps your magnetism. Often, your partner distances themselves and starts to ignore you because you lose your identity trying to please them. Maintain your individuality, interests, and own life, and thus you will be able to build a healthier and more balanced relationship. When you stop complaining and creating dramas, The other person notices and starts to wonder what's happening. They think, it seems she doesn't care that I'm distancing myself, and continues to be happy. Even if it bothers you inside, you are showing that this person does not have control over you. The control is with you. When they see that you continue moving forward, taking care of yourself, becoming more attractive, and maintaining your own life, that's when their interest in you resurfaces. The situation changes, and they start looking for you. Now that you understand these initial strategies, let's explore 4 more strategies that will help you further regain your power and handle this situation even more effectively. These strategies are essential to deepen your understanding and strengthen your position. Stay with me to discover all of them and transform your love life. Self-sufficiency is one of the core pillars of Stoicism and a valuable tool for facing situations where someone starts to distance themselves and ignore us. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness and satisfaction must come from within, without relying on external factors or other people. This concept becomes even more relevant when dealing with the emotional pain of seeing someone drift away. Imagine yourself as a solid, unshakable rock. That is the Stoic ideal. No matter what happens around you, you remain stable and strong because your strength comes from within. To adopt this strategy, it is essential that you begin to cultivate this inner strength. Focus on your own activities and interests. When someone distances themselves, it's easy to fall into the trap of becoming obsessed with that person, questioning what you did wrong or what you could do to regain their attention. Instead, redirect that energy toward yourself. Take up hobbies you love, dedicate yourself to learning something new, or invest time in a personal project you've always wanted to pursue. This not only occupies your mind, but also reinforces your self-sufficiency. For example, if you have always enjoyed painting, buy some paints and start creating again. If you love reading, dive into books you've always wanted to explore. By engaging in these activities, you not only distract yourself, but also reconnect with parts of yourself that you may have neglected. Remember the Stoic teaching that true happiness comes from living according to our nature and developing our virtues. Additionally, it is essential to practice self-compassion. Often, when someone distances themselves, we tend to be harsh on ourselves, blaming ourselves for not being good enough. The Stoic perspective, however, teaches us to accept what we cannot change and focus on what is within our control. Instead of blaming yourself, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a dear friend. Recognize your feelings, but don't let them define who you are. Imagine yourself as a warrior in battle. A Stoic does not lament the arrows that come his way, but focuses on how to protect himself and fight as best as possible. Similarly, when facing emotional pain, acknowledge the blows but remain firm in your quest for self-sufficiency and personal growth. Another vital part of Stoic self-sufficiency is the practice of meditation and reflection. Set aside time daily to meditate on your thoughts and emotions. This can be done simply by sitting in a quiet place, closing your eyes, and focusing on your breath. Allow your thoughts to come and go without judging them. Regular meditation practice can help develop a calmer and more resilient mind, better able to handle the stress and anxiety caused by someone distancing themselves. Adopting Stoic self-sufficiency is a path to finding inner peace and strength, even in the most challenging situations. By focusing on yourself and your growth, you not only overcome the pain of distancing, but also emerge stronger and more resilient. In addition to setting aside time for meditation, how about creating a personal journal? In it, you can record your daily experiences and emotions. Write about your feelings, lessons learned, and how you intend to apply Stoic principles to improve your life. This practice will help you clear your thoughts and also serve as a constant reminder of your progress and growth. Remember, self-sufficiency does not mean living in isolation. It is essential to build healthy and meaningful relationships with the people around you. These relationships should be based on mutual respect and support, not emotional dependence. Surround yourself with people who value you and encourage you to be the best version of yourself. This creates a support network that strengthens your self-sufficiency. By adopting this strategy, you will notice a significant change in how you feel about someone distancing themselves. Instead of despair or helplessness, you will experience a renewed sense of control and confidence. This can make the other person see you in a new and more attractive way. After all, Nothing is more attractive than someone truly self-sufficient and happy on their own. The practice of Stoic self-sufficiency is an ongoing exercise of internal strengthening, self-compassion, and focus on your own virtues and interests. By adopting this approach, you not only handle the current situation better, but also prepare yourself to face future challenges with resilience and balance. Mastering your emotions is an essential pillar of Stoicism and can be particularly useful when someone starts to distance themselves and ignore you. The Stoics teach that it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but the way we interpret them. Therefore, how we manage our emotions can completely change our life experience. When someone distances themselves, it is natural to face an avalanche of emotions like sadness, anger, and frustration. The first step to mastering these emotions is to acknowledge them without letting them dominate you. Imagine your emotions as clouds passing through the sky. They are present, but you don't need to cling to them. Let them pass while observing them with a calm and detached mind. This does not mean suppressing your emotions, but approaching them with acceptance and understanding. For example, if you feel sadness because someone you like is distancing themselves, acknowledge that sadness. Tell yourself, I am feeling sad because this person distanced themselves. Simply recognizing the emotion can already alleviate part of its weight. Then ask yourself, is this emotion helping me or hurting me? Sadness can be a natural reaction, but it does not need to define your actions or well-being. A practical exercise to help control your emotions is the pause technique. When a strong emotion arises, stop for a moment, breathe deeply, and count to 10. This brief pause can give you the necessary time not to react impulsively and choose a more considered response. For example, instead of sending an impulsive message asking why the person is distancing themselves, use this time to reflect and decide if it's really worth it. Remember, emotional control is not about suppressing what you feel, but choosing how to react to these emotions. With practice and patience, you can transform how you handle difficult situations and, consequently, improve your quality of life. The Stoics had a practice called the premeditation of evils, premeditatio malorum, which involved visualizing possible difficulties and mentally preparing for them. By anticipating that someone might distance themselves or that you might face rejections, you become more resilient when these situations actually occur. It is not about pessimism, but about preparation to face life with more serenity and fewer unpleasant surprises. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control and accept what is not. We cannot control the actions or feelings of others, but we can control our reactions. Instead of worrying about why someone is distancing themselves, it is more useful to focus on how you can improve your own well-being. This can involve dedicating time to self-care, such as practicing physical exercise, meditation, or activities that bring joy. To illustrate, imagine you are in a park on a sunny day, and suddenly it starts to rain. You can be frustrated with the change in weather or accept the situation, seek shelter, and maybe even enjoy the relaxing sound of the rain. Similarly, when someone distances themselves, you can choose to sink into sadness or accept the situation. Find ways to strengthen yourself and move forward. Another useful technique is to keep a Stoic journal. Writing about your emotions can be a powerful way to process and understand them better. Note what you are feeling, why you are feeling it, and how you would like to respond to these emotions. Often, putting feelings on paper makes them lose some of their power over us. Additionally, revisiting these notes can help you see your progress over time. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of maintaining perspective. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year? In 5 years? Often, we give excessive importance to situations that, in the long run, will have little impact on our lives. Keeping this perspective can help reduce the intensity of negative emotions and focus on what really matters. Remember that all emotions, no matter how intense, are temporary. Just as a storm eventually passes, your feelings will also change over time. Embracing this transience can bring a sense of peace and acceptance. Controlling your emotions does not mean becoming insensitive, but developing the ability to face adversity with more serenity. Stoic acceptance is an essential principle and very relevant, especially when someone starts to distance themselves or ignore you. According to the Stoics, accepting reality as it is, without resistance or anger, is crucial. We must focus on what is within our control and let go of what we cannot change. This acceptance is not synonymous with passivity, but rather an active way of facing life with balance and serenity. When someone distances themselves, it is common to feel despair, frustration, or sadness. These emotions are natural, but Stoicism teaches us not to be dominated by them. Instead of fighting against reality or trying to change the other person's feelings, we should accept the situation as it is. Acceptance does not mean that we approve or like the situation, but that we recognize the limits of our control. Imagine yourself in a boat on a river. Suddenly, a strong current changes the direction of the boat. You can spend all your energy trying to row against the current, or you can accept the new direction and adjust your course. Accepting the current is not giving up, but finding the best way to navigate. Similarly, accepting someone's distancing allows you to conserve your emotional energy to focus on your own well-being and growth. A practical method to cultivate acceptance is mindfulness. Set aside a few minutes daily to sit quietly and observe your thoughts and emotions without judging them. Just observe, like a spectator watching a movie. This practice creates a space between you and your emotional reactions, allowing a calmer and more controlled response. Additionally, Stoic acceptance involves understanding that suffering is part of life. We all face challenges and losses, and resisting this reality only increases our suffering. The Stoics remind us to face pain with courage and dignity, seeing it as an opportunity for growth and strengthening. When someone distances themselves, see it as a chance to practice resilience and develop a stronger and wiser mind. Think of an athlete who gets injured. Pain and recovery are inevitable, but the athlete's attitude makes all the difference. If he constantly laments his injury, his suffering will increase. But if he accepts the injury as part of the process and focuses on recovery and strengthening, he can come back even stronger. Similarly, accepting someone's distancing can be seen as an opportunity to strengthen your own character and resilience. Reevaluating your expectations can be a transformative strategy. Often, the pain we feel is directly linked to the expectations we have that are not met. We expect people to behave a certain way or for certain relationships to last forever. However, Stoic teachings guide us to adjust these expectations to be more realistic. It is important to recognize that each person has their own life, with motives and choices that we cannot control. By lowering our expectations about how others should behave, we reduce the potential for disappointment and suffering. A valuable Stoic practice is negative visualization. This exercise involves imagining the loss of important things or people in our lives. The intention is not to induce sadness, but to appreciate more what we have in the present and prepare the mind for possible future losses. For example, by imagining that someone significant might distance themselves, we learn to value more the time we spend with that person and avoid excessive attachment to the relationship. Accepting reality does not mean that we cannot take action. If there is something you can do to improve the situation healthily and respectfully, do it. But do it from a place of acceptance, not despair or neediness. For example, if an honest conversation can help resolve a misunderstanding, have that conversation calmly and clearly. However, if the other person is not open to it, accept this reality and move on. In short, Stoic acceptance is a powerful tool for dealing with someone's distancing. It teaches us to recognize and accept reality as it is, focus on what is within our control, adjust our expectations, and see suffering as an opportunity for growth. By adopting this approach, we find greater inner peace and strengthened resilience, regardless of others' actions. Detachment is a fundamental principle of Stoicism, especially crucial when facing the distancing of someone close. For the Stoics, it is vital to value the people and things in our lives, but without depending on them for our happiness. This perspective offers us significant emotional freedom and minimizes suffering in the face of losses or changes. When someone starts to distance themselves, our instinctive reaction may be to cling even more to that person or situation. However, Stoic philosophy encourages us to practice detachment, accepting that all relationships and circumstances are temporary. Life is marked by impermanence, and by embracing this reality, we become better equipped to handle inevitable transformations. To start practicing detachment, it is crucial to reflect on the transient nature of everything around us. Consider how all the people and experiences in your life so far have come and gone. Think about childhood friends, hobbies you enjoyed when you were younger, or places you lived. All of this has changed over time, and you moved on. Recognizing this impermanence helps us understand that change is a natural constant in life. Practicing detachment does not mean devaluing or ceasing to love the people around us. On the contrary, it allows us to value each moment even more, aware of its transience. The Stoics advise us to live each day as if it were our last, intensely appreciating our experiences without clinging to them. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, exemplifies this idea by suggesting that we should kiss our children at night, aware of their mortality, reminding us that they may not always be with us. While this view may seem somber, it highlights the value of each shared moment. To apply detachment when someone is distancing themselves, begin to focus on yourself and what you can control. Dedicate yourself to activities that bring you joy and promote your growth. For example, if you enjoy reading, explore books that expand your knowledge and inspire you. If you're a sports fan, take this time to improve your health and well-being. By investing in yourself, you reduce emotional dependency on the other person and find more lasting satisfaction in your development. Another valuable practice is reflecting on our own finitude. By meditating on death, we are reminded that our existence is limited. This realization teaches us not to waste our time on concerns beyond our control. It encourages us to live more fully, letting go of what holds us back. For example, by recognizing that our time is precious, we can choose not to invest more energy in trying to win back someone who has distanced themselves. Instead, we focus on building a rich and meaningful life for ourselves. Practicing gratitude for the present is another powerful Stoic tool. Gratitude helps us value what we have now without being attached to the future. Make a conscious effort to recognize and appreciate the good things in your life, even the simplest ones. This can include health, friendships, a job you like, or even the comfort of a cozy home. When we are grateful, we realize we already have much to be happy about, without depending on anyone for our satisfaction. Redefining your goals and values is also fundamental. The Stoics advocate that we should live according to our principles and virtues instead of seeking others' approval or love. Identify what truly matters to you, such as integrity, wisdom, courage, and justice, and align your actions with these values. By living according to your principles, you become less affected by others' actions and opinions. Imagine a musician who loves playing his instrument. He may have started playing to impress others, but by adopting a Stoic perspective, he plays because he loves music and wants to improve his skills. His satisfaction comes from the act of playing itself, not from external approval. Similarly, find satisfaction in your actions and fulfilling your values, regardless of the presence or absence of a specific person in your life. Finally, it is essential to understand that detachment does not mean indifference. You can still care about people and feel emotions, but without becoming dependent on them. Stoic detachment is about maintaining a healthy balance where you value the connections you have, but do not let your happiness depend on them. It is about finding inner peace and resilience to face life's inevitable changes. Practicing Stoic detachment is a continuous exercise in recognizing impermanence, valuing the present, investing in yourself, and aligning with your values. By adopting this approach, you not only handle someone's distancing better, but also strengthen your emotional independence and resilience to face future challenges. If you've made it this far, you are a true Stoic of modern life. I want to know who has been resilient. Type in the comments, "I am Stoic." Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the Millennial Stoicism channel, leave your comments, and share it with friends and family. Your participation is essential for us to continue our Stoic journey together. Reflection. It is not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Epictetus. May this wisdom from Epictetus guide us in the pursuit of a more peaceful and balanced life. See you in the next video, Stoics.